As always, following a violent round comes the question of who won and who lost. And as always, the answer depends on who you ask. As far as the numbers are concerned, there's no question. 25 Islamic Jihad operatives were killed, among them the entire top brass of the Iranian-backed organization, as the IDF hit some 170 of their targets. Despite the high volume of attacks, very few civilians were directly killed in the Israeli strikes. The vast majority of civilians who lost their lives were actually killed from Islamic Jihad rocket misfires.
Islamic Jihad terrorists fired a rocket towards Israel, which fell short inside Gaza, hitting a Palestinian home in the Jabalia neighborhood and tragically killing at least 4 children.
On the Israeli side, damage was minimal and only 3 people were injured as a result of shrapnel from rockets and interceptors. Overall, 47 Israelis were taken to hospitals, mostly due to anxiety or to minor injuries sustained while running to shelters. Another reason for satisfaction in Israel is the very high percentage of interceptions by the Iron Dome. Some 96% of rockets headed to populated areas were intercepted, explaining the very low number of Israeli casualties. More than anything, Israelis feel that for the first time in years, the IDF was the one setting the tone this time and not the other side.
This government has a zero-tolerance policy for any attempted attacks of any kind from Gaza towards Israeli territory. Terrorist organizations will not set the agendas on the Gaza border. We will not accept any threats to the residents.
What is perceived as victory on one side does not apply to the other. The Islamic Jihad is proud of the fact that despite the constant Israeli attacks, it was able to fire some 1,100 rockets towards Israel until the final minute before the ceasefire, and even shortly after it began, but not mentioning that nearly 20% of them fell within the Strip.
The Zionist enemy had a clear and specific slogan, which is the annihilation of the Islamic Jihad movement and its military wing, the Al-Quds Brigades. Now that the clash has stopped, we saw a clear scene. The Islamic Jihad movement is still strong and stable, and even more powerful.
Breaking Dawn is now in the history books like so many other operations before. Whether it will have any effect in the long run is anyone's guess.